Manchester City 0, Tottenham Hotspur 4. What an absolute car crash, shambles, disaster. How many more words do I need to throw out? Shit show. I'll stop there. I'll briefly talk on the game, and then let's talk bigger picture because it's needed. Need some hard hitting home truths. Some difficult conversations need to be had by everybody. Pep, players, staff, higher ups, whoever. Everyone's a target. Everyone's on the hit list. Everyone's on the chopping block. Let's not be around the bush. If you don't think that, then where have you been for the last 5 games? Because everyone's a part of this mess, and there's a few ways out of it. But yeah, we'll speak on that in a bit. Before I get started, do me a massive favour. Please leave a like on this video. Subscribe if you're new. If you're looking for shouting, ranting, raving, I am not your man. But if you are looking for someone who will say it how he sees it, then welcome. Welcome, because I'm not one of these who will sit there and after a few losses or a bad run and seeing just dross, we'll sit there and go, it's all right, because we were shit years ago. So, we don't know how good we've got it. You don't know how good you've got it. You're a plastic if you're complaining, because we've just won 4 in a row and we were down in the 2nd division, 3rd division in the 90s. Bollocks, don't care whatsoever. If you want to live in that fantasy of not criticizing, not being able to criticize, then you do you, fella. But listen, I'm approaching my limit. 5 losses in a row. The worst loss the worst home loss in the league since 2003. First reigning champions to lose 5 on the spin since 1956. I mean, it doesn't really get much worse, does it? We're breaking negative records here, people. Negative records is not something that we do very often. Usually it's positive, trebles, 4 in a row, 100 points, these sorts of things. Goals scored, golden boots. Incredible individual achievements, Ballon d'Ors, player of the season, manager of the seasons. None of that. Absolutely none of that. This is a completely different team. Just again, let's talk about the game first. Because we are in fucking crisis mode. We are in panic mode. Let's not beat around the bush and say that this is anything but. We've lost 5 in a row. It's the first time that has ever happened in Pep Guardiola's managerial career. Let's not take the piss. This is a bit of a crisis now. Kovacic is out for a month. You're looking at a Gundogan midfield pivot involving someone else. And game 1, we've lost 4-0. What are we doing here? Let's analyse the game, because it just happened. And that's kind of what I'm here to do. But I need to talk bigger picture eventually. Analyse the goals. Well, let's start with positives. Now that that's out the way, let's go to negatives. Genuine. No positives. Edison made a couple of good saves. We lost 4-0. So, means little in the grand scheme of things. Probably the best player. But not saying much. Negative. Goals. First goal, Gundogan watches Maddison run off him and just points at him. Second goal, Vardio. Who's he passing to? Third goal, Gundogan, nutmeg. Might as well have not been there today, Gundogan. Just no nothing. No, nothing. Yeah, he's fine. He's a technically sound player. He moves the ball. He's good technically speaking. But so's Bernardo Silva. That's what he's in the team for. So's Rico Lewis. That's what he's in the team for. Phil Foden, etc., etc. You get the idea. We don't need 4 players who are all technically sound individuals in a midfield, swapping about with each other at times. We don't need those 4 to be making a midfield 3, one of them out on the wing. First half, it was Foden in the middle. Second half, you had Foden out wide. Don't need that. Don't need that. I've said this before, and so have other people. Bernardo Silva, Rico Lewis, Ilkay Gundogan, midfield 3 is a disaster. All individually, take away from team balance and all of this other stuff, individually, technically sound players. All technically sound players, nothing wrong with them. Together, as a collective, as a midfield partnership set up imbalanced. Because they all do the same thing and they don't, complement each other. Whenever we turn the ball over, good luck defending a counter-attack. Your holding midfielder has about 10 yards of running in him before he's completely out of the play. And it's the same thing when Kovacic plays as well. Kovacic, again, another one, individually, technically, very sound footballer, very good footballer. In the system, trying to play in that position, the number 6, who had the players around him, pointless. Because he doesn't, his, lack of qualities in certain areas aren't compensated by others. So it looks weak. And that's why we get counter-attacked. That is the main problem that we've had over the last 4 games. Over the course of the season, really, is midfield. Shock. Considering we needed a holding midfielder for 18 months, we had multiple options on the table, and we decided to sign fucking no one. But shock. Calling me shock. I just wasn't just me screaming on my own, going, please sign a holding midfielder. Please sign a holding midfielder, doing prayer circles, hoping, praying to the God. Wasn't just me, there were others. But the fact that the board didn't see it, it's just fucking laughable, really. That's the main issue in terms of the game today. 4th goal. Don't care, game was over. In terms of bigger picture, which is the main thing that I want to talk about, because this is the main problem that we have now. Forget the game. It happened. Whatever. A loss is a loss. 4-0, 3-0, 2-0, 1-0. Loss is a loss. It hurts more when it's more goals. Don't care. Loss is a loss. It happened. You get over it. We move on. Go midweek. We've got to go to Anfield. Yippee. Just got to move on with it. But the bigger picture is season's over. Might be over. Who knows? I don't know. League title chances? Forget about it. Forget about it. I know there's the gimmick of, stay in the mix till February and then we just go and blitz win after win after win after win after win. Forget about it. Forget it. Champions League, forget it. Forget it. Don't hope. Unless, by some minor miracle, we are still within touching distance and we sign a player or two, specifically a holding midfield player, in January. Unless that happens, forget it. Don't get your hopes up. Don't talk about it. Because there's no point. It's just a waste of energy. Bring me an FA Cup, something, go again next season. That is where I'm at. That is where I'm at. Maybe my outlook will change if something does click and Pep maybe tries something else that I'm not expecting him to, but he does, or say we do sign someone in January and we just go on from there. But as of right now, where it sits, November, I don't see a way out. Season's gone by. Last season, I look at De Bruyne coming back in sort of January, February and going, I could be a 10 point in the season this season. No, I ain't got no one. Oscar Bob might be a nice addition. Not going to turn the season around. Good player. But is he going to add the missing 20, 30 goals that we've had from the last 2 summer windows where we've let output just walk out the door without significant replacement? Again, board issues. We won a treble and let Gundogan and Mahrez walk out the door for nothing, pretty much. Saudi came in and paid for Mahrez. We didn't replace him with adequate replacement. We won a treble, which I wasn't expecting back-to-back trebles. I wasn't even expecting another treble ever of that magnitude, of the treble, because those things don't happen often. But the fact that we won a treble, let about 40 G&A walk out the door and replaced it with a project player in Doctor. A player that the manager does not trust whatsoever, maybe didn't even want, in Mateus Nunes. Just pointless. And we did the same thing again this summer. Not as annoyed with letting Alvarez go as I was with the other two, because the money on offer was good. for the money that we paid and the money that, we would get for selling him, the turnover of profit, I understood. I was actually saying I would sell him. I remember saying it on the stream. I would sell Alvarez because the offer is good. The offer is good, and we have the opportunity to be able to replace him. And he would probably want to leave within the next 2 years anyway. So why not get rid of him now? It's probably the highest price we're ever going to get. I was happy. I was happy enough with the business. Obviously, I wasn't happy that the player left because it was out. He was a good player. But we had the opportunity to do some great business, which we did, and replace him, which we didn't. Again, what are we doing? Where's the ruthlessness gone? Where is the champion's mentality? Where is all the ruthlessness that we've done all over the years of just replacing players? We've replaced icons. We've kicked legends out the door because we think we can do better. And we've been done by sentimentality again. We signed Gundogan because it was a fairy tale. If he wasn't free, he'd be at Barcelona. If they didn't cancel his contract, he wouldn't be here. We weren't signing him for a transfer fee. The only reason we got him is because he fell into our laps. And that's the reality of the situation. We basically didn't sign anyone in the summer because Savio was done in like February. Even though he came in the summer, the deal was done, just after the January transfer window. It was done before the end of last season. So, in reality, apart from a free transfer of Ilkay Gundogan, which wasn't planned, it just happened, we signed no one. And let about 30 GNA and Julian Alvarez walk out the door. Didn't get a replacement or a backup or whichever word you want to use for Rodri. And now he's out for the season. And now we're in a mess. And it's up to the board to figure out that. It's where my problem lies now. Say whatever you want about Pep and individuals. Yes, players can take accountability and play better and there should be fingers pointed and certain individuals have to step up. They've gone, they've fallen off. They've taken their eye off the ball. Or they're just not good enough anymore. Right? And Pep, again, same thing. Team selections, puzzling, substitutions, or lack of substitutions, really bizarre. But the main problem is the board. And that's where my frustrations lie. They've created a mess by just basically having two summer transfer windows, two transfer windows of the most bizarre fucking deals that I have ever seen. Not ever seen. That's a bit fat. But you know what I mean. Just bizarre, letting guaranteed GNA, guaranteed output and winners and experience walk out the door without replacing them properly and expecting that we can remain at the top. Liverpool getting better, Arsenal signing, everybody else is signing players around us to try and catch up. We sat there and let players go and didn't sign any, and that's the bottom line. You want to stay at the top, you got to be ruthless. If you don't go forward, you go backwards. As simple as that. Even if you don't move, you go backward because everybody else moves forward and catches up. And that's the situation we're in. Season, in terms of the big ones, might be over. Might be over because I really doubt that we're going to win the league now. Which again is no real shame. We've done 4 in a row, 4 in a row was supposed to be impossible. So what's 5 in? You know what I mean? But this is of our own making because we did this to ourselves. If we did the right business, we wouldn't be in this situation. It's a fact. So yeah, the board have to sort it out. They've tied down Pep to another 2 years. Whether they do anything in January, who fucking knows at this point? I hope they do, but listen, if they don't, it's whatever. But in the summer, have to be ruthless, have to do something, have to rebuild and give Pep tools that he needs. It's point in signing him to a contract extension if you're not going to rebuild and actually get him the players that he needs to succeed, because right now he doesn't have them. So there's no real point in being here. It's the bottom line. But I've talked for long enough. Crisis. Yeah, we're about. I don't know how many games we are away from pushing the big red button that says panic. But if we're not there yet, we are, fingers on the button already, man. Fingers on the button already. So thanks very much for watching. You let me know what you thought of just this entire run in general. What's going on? How would you fix it? Comment section below. And yeah, I'll see you soon, man.